There's one. There's one. That's a nice one. Oh, he's not that big. Look at that. Oh, and he ate it too. So he's not that big. Let me get my pliers here. Not a giant one, a fun one, but what I like is that we aisled across this spot. I saw a little hump on my Humminbird, and dude, he had that crankbait. He was wanting to eat that. It was down his throat like this. Boop. Just a little 2.5 pounder. We're gonna catch a lot more, but here's the thing. Found these fish with my Humminbird. I've got an 8-foot cranking rod with Daiwa that I designed specifically for throwing a deep diving crankbait. Tatula 100, I've got 12-pound Sunline fluorocarbon. There's a whole bunch of fish down there. I can't wait to cast again, but the trick with this is long cast. Now I have that 8-foot cranking rod specifically for making a long cast, you know, and a long handle to where I can get better leverage, keep it in my ribs, and get better leverage with that crankbait. Oh, one bumped it right there. Bumped it, but didn't get it. I missed him. No, I did get him that time. He bumped it, and look at that. 2 casts in a row. Found the school. 2 casts in a row, I got one. I can't wait to get that thing out there again. Look at that. So, this school's pretty deep. I may go to the 3.5 XD. I've got the 3.5 DD. Oh my goodness, there's a pile of them down there. Look at that right there. Those are all bass right there. Look at that. I brought them out to me. 16 feet of water. Now, one thing to try is I haven't been cranking it too fast. They like it really fast sometimes. On that, oh, one bumped it right there. Now I need to get that. I need to get the XD down there because I'm not grinding the bottom. I want to grind the bottom when I'm out fishing ledges. So I've got the XD now, which is going to get deeper. You want that thing bouncing on the bottom as best you can. So there, I'm hitting bottom. I'm hitting bottom. I should get a bite any second here with that group that was there. There he is right there. I got him. That's a good one too. Unless I got a double. Oh, it's a white bass. Wrong kind. I know that's not everything I've seen down there because I caught 2 bass in 2 casts. Got a white bass. So they're down there too, obviously. I'm gonna waypoint this spot. So key, long cast, that's what the 8-foot's for. Long handle where I can put that handle into my ribs, get better leverage on the bottom there. You really want that thing hitting bottom. So I'm on bottom, on bottom. Right as it starts to roll off of that little ridge there is where I should get the bite. What I'll do, I think I pulled them out too far. I did. That happens. I mean, they're under the boat right now. See, these are a couple of them. They're right on the bottom. But see, right here is this point that they're on. And I found them right there when I idled. But they're all the way out here deeper. So I'm actually going to pull farther off of the spot because I think I pulled them to me. So these fish, are, when they get on ledges, a lot of times you can't do anything wrong. But sometimes you have to kind of trick them to fire. And when I say trick them is there's so many down there that if they don't want to eat, you know, instead of just cranking, you know, normal cranking speed would be just a steady retrieve would be like this. But sometimes they want it almost as fast as you can wind it. You know, if they don't bite it in a cast or two, I'll make a couple casts winding it as fast as I possibly can. And it does a couple things. One, if you can think about it, if the fish are lethargic and they're sitting down there and there's, you know, enough of them down there and I wind that thing really fast, I'm literally gonna ram it into 1 or 2 of them. Well, if I ram it into one or two of them, they're gonna spook. And when they spook, they're gonna dart off and hit a couple of the other ones that are down there. There's one, winding it really fast. I was winding that really fast and I got one to go. That's a better one too. He's gonna come off. Maybe not. So what I was saying is he actually bit it. That's a spot. That's a spotted bass. You know, so what I was saying there before I was rudely interrupted by a big spotted bass, winding the bait really fast does a couple things. One, it'll trigger them to bite. The other thing is if you bump, if there's a big enough school there, if you bump the fish, oh, I felt like one was on there again. Spot lock us here. Is I'll bump a fish, and if I bump a fish and he spooks, he'll dart off, and the other fish that are in the school might think he's darting after the bait. And it gets the other fish excited, because if none of them want it, they don't want it. But if one of them wants it, they all want it. And you burn that thing through there and you get one, you know, you just run over his back and you get him to dart, he's gonna make it look like he's going after it, and the other fish are gonna all of a sudden want to get it. So you gotta trick them. So, you know, if there's not a lot of current, one way that I've caught them too is really slow. So I'm on the bottom, I can feel that thing rooting around down there. I've made a couple casts, burning it pretty fast. And try one or two going really slow on the bottom. It's almost like throwing a swim bait, which is another thing that we'll try. I've got a swim bait on in the box that I could probably get them to fire on the swim bait. Right now, I don't think they're gonna be on the slow crank. What I've found is that when the slow retrieve works is when there's no current out. Sometimes they want it pretty slow down there. Make a couple more casts with a crankbait here, and if nothing happens, one's got it there. Oh man, what do I have? What do I have? Side hooked a white bass. Skinny white bass on top of that too. So I'm gonna try one thing. Now I've made a couple casts on the spot with a crankbait. They were active at first, so now I'm gonna pick up a worm and try it just for a second, just to see what happens. Keep them honest. Okay. Now again, triggering these fish to bite is a big deal. So a lot of times you can pull up on a spot like this and throw the crankbait out there and not get them to bite, throw it multiple times, not get them to bite, not get them to bite, pick up a worm. There, one's got it. I got it. First cast with a worm. First cast with a worm, one bites it. So what you can do is catch them on a worm, and a lot of times it'll fire up the school to where you can pick up the crankbait again. So I'll make a couple casts with a worm, see what happens, and then I'll go to the crankbait if I get them fired up. Chunker. There's one. There we go. Oh, he's not that big. He's acting big, but he's not that big. So what happened is we found the spot, found it with my hummingbirds, using the Lakemaster chip, and I was able to catch a few on the crankbait. And then typically what you'll do is when they stop biting the crankbait is throw some sort of bottom bait, a worm or a jig. I picked up a worm and caught a few more. Hadn't had a bite for a little bit, so I think this is going to pretty much wrap up this vlog for now. We're going to keep searching because these aren't the right size for Guntersville. We need to find a spot with some 3 to 5 pounders on it. But fun. Still caught some fish, found them on the Lakemaster, found them with the 2D image, caught them with you know, Lakecraft crankbait, caught them with the Yamamoto Senko. You know, still a lot of fun. So be sure to like, share, and tag a friend, and stick around for more vlogs next week on Lake Guntersville.